And now, streaming live from the sunny Southern California coast, this is Options Uncensored.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve. Welcome to Options Uncensored. We're making real option trades in real time together. Let's get right into it. First things first, make sure you have your brokerage account open so you can follow along. Have your YouTube video quality set as high as possible. That way you can read the numbers a whole lot easier. Have a calculator ready so you can do some easy math. If you have a question or a stock you want to go over, leave it in the comments. We'll go over it live. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's check out our open positions. We had our Microsoft short call filled this morning. We'll go over that one in a second. XBI down $10 right now, trying to get to 27. This is a January expiration. The rest of these are all December expiration, which is about, 2 weeks away, okay? Boeing is coming back today, but we got a long way to go. We may have to roll this one. SPY, same thing, down a little bit, but it's coming back as well. And Micron up $4, trying to get to 18. Hopefully this one closes within the next day or so. All right, let's do our Microsoft recap really quick, and then move on to some new positions, okay? So Microsoft, I think we shorted a Microsoft call spread once it got to an all-time high, which is somewhere around here, I'm guessing, the 10th of November. Moved against us. What were our strikes? 385. Got very close to being in the money on the short side, but never did. Fell off a cliff the past 4 days, and now it's close today. So we made $32. You want to get your calculator out. $32 divided by 500, 6.4% on our money return there. All right, very standard, very basic trade. Nothing very exciting about this one. All right, let's look at some new positions to open. First up will be CCJ. Up 2% today. The market in general is down big, so we're going to try to find some opportunities that are either down very big today as well or up. All right, earnings are February 8th. Here's our chart. Very, very boring movement up. We'll look at the call side here for January expiration. 46 days till expiration for January. Good liquidity here. The 50 is a little too close to sell, and the 55 is too far out, so we'll skip this one. On the put side, though, you'd have to sell the 40 and buy the 37. 36 is too illiquid. Let's do that one. Let's check it out. 45 minus 19 divided by 2 divided by 300. 4.3. All right, we'll skip this one. Next, Coinbase, COIN. Up again today. I think we're trying to wait for it to get to 150, right? Earnings are in February. The movement on this one's been crazy. Gap up after earnings and just this rocket ship straight up. Green day after green day. And again, another green day up 7%. I don't know how sustainable this move could be, but you can see by the chart, it should hit some resistance beginning around 150. So, I mean, we can open up the call spread now, because the short strike will definitely be past 150. Sell the 195 and buy the 200. 20-cent spread here. Let's take a look at the 195 200. 402 minus 352 divided by 2 divided by 500. That's 5% there. We went closer. The thing is, these spreads are a little illiquid. If you sold the 185, bought the 190, 510 minus 445 divided by 2 divided by 500, 6.5% there. 20-cent spread here, 20-cent spread here. Let me mark this one down. We'll come back later on, okay? Next up will be GM. I think GM got an upgrade today. Let's see how it's reacting. Up 1.5%. That's not big, but remember the rest of the market's down overall. Maintains by Citigroup. Here's our chart. Approaching the 200-day. Let's look at the call side. Earnings I think we saw were January 30th. So this January expiration will be before those earnings, okay? If we sold the 36 and bought the 39, that's 38 minus 8 divided by 2 divided by 300, 5% on the nose. We can do better. Moving on, Uber. Uber's news today, I think they're joining the S&P 500. Yes, and raise of a price target from Oppenheimer. Earnings are February 14th. Here's our chart. All-time high, yes or no? No. All-time high is around 64. And keep that in mind. We'll look at the call side. Ooh, 65 is too close. And the 70's too far out. This one's close, but no cigar. If we sold the 65 and bought the 70, it's going to be good. 1 minus 36 divided by 2 divided by 500, 7.5%. But the 65 strikes awfully close. 65 is right here. That would be an all-time high. We're going to keep Uber on this list. We'll follow up. If it breaks this all-time high, then we'll go ahead and go for the call spread. Next, we're going to look at Hawaiian Airlines and Alaskan Airlines. Merger news coming out this morning. Oh, Jesus. Well, if we want to short the Hawaiian call spread, let's see. Earnings, January 30th. We're good there. You'd want to sell the 16. Not enough liquidity. Good volume today. But you got a 20-cent spread here, and a 10-cent spread here. Pass. Put side, nothing. I think it's ALK, Alaskan, down 15% because of the news. Earnings are the 25th. Here's your chart. Yikes. Look at this. Their past earnings here, gap down and just slaughterhouse afterwards. Gap down today, kind of bounced off here. That makes sense. Let's look at the put side, even though the move may have already been made. You'd want to sell. Wow, look at this. Look at the volume on the 27.5. You'd want to sell the 27.5. If you want to do cash secured, fine. Liquidity's not that great, though. The spread, 15-cent spread here. These are all put sellers right here. Let's move on. EYPT. I don't know this one very well, but up big today. iPoint Pharmaceuticals. Not enough volume, not enough liquidity. And you'd want to sell the call side, and there's not even enough strikes available to sell the call side. 25 is way too close to sell. Interesting. Blindness therapy. Okay. Next, moving on. Let's look at Expedia. Earnings are in February. This could get interesting here on the call side. Same thing, gap up after earnings and just a rocket ship up. Unsustainable. If you sold the 155 and bought the 160, let's do the math. 139 minus 83 divided by 2, divided by 500, 5.6. Thought it'd be better than that. Where's 155 on the chart? 155 is right here. Same thing, interesting. 5%'s not the most exciting return. We'll keep it on the list. Next is Meta. The Nasdaq's down big today, down almost 3%. I'd sell the put side around. If it got down to 287, I'd sell the put side, but it's kind of hanging out in no man's land here. Can continue down, which I assume it will. Earnings are January 31st. The call side, you may be able to ride the call side quickly in and out. If you sold the 350, bought the 355, that's 274 minus 209 divided by 2 divided by 500. 6.5% if you sold the call side. One with the 350 strike being the short strike. 350 is right here. Pass on this one. Okay, CrowdStrike, CRWD. This one's over. We're going to skip it altogether. We're trying to see if there's continued movement up after earnings. It's stalled out. There's no more volatility. It's 0. We're going to take this one off the list. Next will be Alibaba. I think it's getting murdered today. Actually, not that bad. Down 1%. Waiting for it to get around 65. On the put side, yeah, that makes sense. So you'd want to sell the 65 and buy the 60. 82 minus 30 divided by 2 divided by 500, 5.2%. Not that great. The call side, skip the call side. Moving on. Spotify, they're up big today, I think. Announced the 3rd round of layoffs. Cutting 1,500 jobs, great. Earnings are in January the 30th, wonderful. It's hit this resistance right here, almost on the nose, and sold off. Call side. 210 is too close. You'd have to sell the 220 and buy the 230. That's $1,000 spread, so keep that in mind. 200 minus 97 divided by 2 divided by 1,000, 5.1%. Again, not that exciting. On the put side, if you sold the 170 and bought the 165, it's 152 minus 107 divided by 2 divided by 500. Even worse, 4.5%. So even though it's up big today, skip. Next up, Carvana, CVNA. I forgot the news today. It's 14% up. JP Morgan raises price target. That's it. Upgrade to neutral. All right. Here's our chart. Sorry, when were earnings? February. Great. Again, hanging out in no man's land. There was a clear movement down here, but it was pre-earnings, so we didn't sell any put spread here, getting close to the 200-day, and now it's kind of leveled out here and gapped up. So if it got up to, say, 54, sell a call spread, or if it moved back down to the 200-day, say around 26. These are both big moves, so you'd have to wait and see. As for today, nothing with Carvana. Lululemon, news today, but I think they have earnings coming up. Yeah. Downgraded by Wells in front of the earnings. That's not very nice. We'll come back after earnings later this week, okay? Let's look at gold. I've got my gold tie on today. Gold hit an all-time record high over the weekend. Exciting. Hold on, let me look at the futures market really quick. This is the futures chart. It's barely. Okay. Let's look at the call side really quick. For January expiration, if you sold the 199 and bought the 205, it's 145 minus 76 divided by 2 divided by 500, almost 7%. Interesting. 199. The 199 is all the way up here. Oh boy. I like this one. Let's do this one. So for January expiration, we're going to sell the 199 and buy the 205. That's a 6-point spread. 4 cent spread here. Great. And 4 here. Perfect. 199, 205. Go to verticals. Change this to 6. The 199, 205 right here. Aha. We'll sell one January 199 call and buy one January 205 call. $600 minus the credit of 72 was at risk. Limit credit 72. Preview this. We'll double check the ticket here. Sell one January 199 call. Buy one January 205 call. Receive a credit of $72. We'll go ahead and send this one out. Now hang tight here. If this does get filled at any point today, we'll set a buy to close order at $36. Okay? Good till canceled. Limit debit. Okay? Moving on. Let's take a look at oil. Start with XOP. I think it's still hanging out in no man's land. Yep. No clear direction here. Take a look at USO. Yeah. Still got to wait on this one. Waiting for a clear movement down till about 62. Then sell a put spread. Or continued movement up till around 80 or so and sell a call spread. So nothing to do here yet. Next, Affirm. Holy Moses. Could be at that point to sell the call spread here. There's nothing but call spreads to sell. It's crazy. Gap up after earnings, mini sell-off, and then just a rocket ship up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is day 7 now. Earnings are in February. Call side, if you sold the 50 and bought the 55, let's do the math. That's 130 minus 81 divided by 2 divided by 500. Only 4.9% return. So that's not great. Thought it would have been more. Maybe gets more on the put side. If you sold the 27.5 and bought the 22.5, that's 68 minus 22 divided by 2 divided by 500. Even worse to sell even worse to sell the put side. So I thought the call side would have been on fire here. It's not. We'll move on. Micron, trying to get to 18 on Micron. Getting close. All right, let's go to our IV rank scanner, and we'll sort by volume. Got a little bump here in the SPY, up to 12 now. Russell's got some volatility. IWM. We made a quick day trade about a week or two ago. Very rare occurrence. Back on this day, we sold essentially right at the top on the 15th and closed that day. So it's broken above the 200 day. Same thing, want to sell the call side. Talk to me, what do you got? The 197. If you sold the 197 or 198, sell the 197. 197 and buy the 200. That's 133 minus 89 divided by 2 divided by, what is that, 300? 7.3% there. That one's interesting. You're gonna make $22 by risking 300. Where's 197 on the chart? Oh boy. 197's all the way up here. Keep this one on the list. Okay. Hold on this one. Very interesting. Tempting. Let's move on. Marathon Digital up 10% today. It's only a $15 stock though. SoFi, $8 stock. Coinbase, we already looked at. They have an event on the 7th. Goldman Sachs Financial Services Conference. The CFO will present in another fireside chat. GLD, we already looked at. Did we open something in GLD? Yeah, we did. Can't remember. All right. Yeah, GLD is at 82% IV rank. That's wonderful. Robinhood will skip. Riot will skip. Neo will skip. The TLT? Nah, not yet. Silver? Nope. GameStop earnings are on the 6th. If there's anything interesting, we'll follow up after earnings. Upstart. Past earnings. Let's take a look at Upstart. UPST. Earnings are February 13th. Perfect. On the call side, if you sold the 45 and bought the 50, 131 minus 85 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.6. Pass on that one. On the put side, if you sold the 22.5 and bought the 17.5, that's 59 minus 16 divided by 2 divided by 500, 4.3. Pass on this one. Next. Beyond Meat. Up big today. I wonder why. BYND. Earnings are on February 22nd. No news at all. Interesting. Here's our chart. Garbage. Call side. If you sold the 14, nope. Too liquid. You got a 1770 spread. That'll never get filled. Pass. Carnival. Nope. The GDX. UNG. Plug. The KRE. It's above the 200-day now, right? KRE. Oh, look at that. This doesn't mean much, though. Last time it broke above the 200-day, it was there for like a week and then moved way back down. Same thing here, same thing here. For this one, the 200-day doesn't really seem to matter too much. It did here briefly. Again, what I'm waiting for in the K area is another crisis to happen like it did back in March, and then sell some puts. All right, next. Pfizer? Nope. XBI, we already have our position open in XBI. Enphase, no. Riley, no. Bitcoin, I guess. BITO. Up 7% today. I think Bitcoin hit around 42,000. I don't know the options on this one. Are they liquid? Kinda. You have to sell the 25. Pass on this one. Good volume, good open interest. Put side, no. We already looked at Hawaiian. We already looked at Alaskan. Chewy, they've got earnings later this week. That's wonderful. We'll follow up after earnings. No. Spirit, no. USO, we already looked at that one. GitLab. Earnings are today after the close, so we'll follow up tomorrow. Newmont. That's a gold play. We've got our GLD open. Nike's got earnings before Christmas. All right. Let's really quick before we close today look at Roku, because we've got our short call spread. We sold the 95 and bought the 100. This spread is completely underwater. Sold the 95, bought the 100. We've got, 2 weeks till expiration? We got 11 days to expiration. So there's a couple options here that are kind of weighing. We could let this expire, so we'll lose, what was the premium? We received $69, so we would have a total loss. We took max loss of $500 minus the $69. That's one option. We can also hold and hope, and hope is a horrible word to use, hope that it keeps moving down and comes out at 95. That actually is possible over the next couple days and weeks. Or we could try to roll this position. And to roll it, since it's so late, you'd have to do a lot of funky things. So if you click roll here, I'll just show you. What we'd be doing is closing out the December's position. And to get to January, so see both of these are debits, so they're not going to get filled. You'd have to sell more contracts, which would be averaging down and get a credit. So that's one option. Maybe move the strikes out farther then. If we averaged down and moved out the strikes, still a debit. You have to come closer. Sold the 100. Credit. So that's an option too. So we'd close the December position and we'd sell two. We'd sell 2 of the 105 and buy 2 of the 110. So we're averaging down now. $1,000 would be at risk. That's still an option. We can receive a credit. Don't want to do that today. But just so you know, like, this position isn't totally a lost cause, even though we're down $309. It is an option. Just trying to see if it continues to move down, which it may. It may, over the next 2 weeks, move completely out of the money back down to 90. It's possible. I don't know. But just so you know, max loss isn't a complete option at this point. There's still things you can do to monkey around with keeping this trade alive. Again, you'd have to put more money into it. And again, it's gapped up after earnings and had this rocket ship move up, which is unsustainable. Keep an eye on this gold position today. If it fills, set your close order, limit debit, trying to get to, what would I say, 34 cents? I can't remember. But the Microsoft position did close. Congratulations if you were in on that one. Nice job. We'll see if this one fills and we'll have a new gold position. But that'll do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Tune in every morning, 7:15 a.m. on the West Coast, 10:15 a.m. on the East Coast. We go live every morning trading options. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends that are trading options to tune in as well. We'll all trade options together. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.